This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strick.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. And online at ticketm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Yes, it is. Welcome to Monday to be talking sports with you, our lovely blockheads. We appreciate you, all you do for us. Thanks for letting us be with you. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Monday. I'm Austin. He's Strick. Stricky, how's your weekend, my man?
Stricky's weekend was pretty good. Went down to Kansas City. It was a lot going on in Kansas City. It's been the first time I've been in Kansas City in quite a while, so it was good to get down there. My daughter was in a national volleyball tournament now. Again, people were asking me because, she plays for Arizona, University of Arizona, but she doesn't play on the actual Arizona team. So you have – and it was crazy. I mean, you're talking about almost 60 courts, both men and women, A, B's, and C's. It was crazy just how big this tournament was. Massive. But so they went through pool play. It started I think Thursday. They go through pool play in the tournament play. Then you have multiple bronze, so forth and so on. And depending on how you came out of pool play is what ended up happening. But it's a tier below the top 10. So a lot of these girls can play. Some of them maybe are just undersized, ended up going to big colleges, going to D2 or D3 or so forth and so on. They're actually kids that can play. So it's club. Then you have probably on campus intramurals and stuff like that, just fun stuff. But yeah, it was fun. It was amazing. It was amazing to be down there. UFC was down there.
Right.
It was popping, man. A lot of basketball tournaments, some soccer stuff. It was just raucous down there in Kansas City.
KC will be like that. I was in Nashville, and it was also rocking downtown. So glad to be back in studio. Both of us back for you here. Short first segment. We were going to talk about Jalen Hurts, but we're up against it because we got a super special guest. Strick uses clout again, as he does, has connections. We got a former number 1 overall NBA draft pick coming on the show next. Care to introduce our guest, Strick?
Yeah, Joe Smith. Played with him in Milwaukee. Number overall draft 1995. Had a long career, years. Had been as a starter, been as a backup, been as a support guy. He was different from his time because of the fact that he early in his years, and he was undersized as far as his size. But man, just a guy who could stroke it from 15, shoot some threes. Back in those days when we didn't shoot a lot of them, but he was capable. So yeah, he was a solid player throughout his career.
We're talking with him. NBA playoffs, Giannis's injury, and the Bucks lose game 1. All sorts of stuff with Joe Smith. That'll be next. Before we hit the break, we do want to tell you what else is coming up on the show. Shootout with Strick like normal. Nebraska basketball gets an unofficial visit with a 5-star in the 2025 class. And between that and Dylan Raiola, a couple other football recruits coming to town, I want to dive into, is it actually hard to recruit to Nebraska, or is that just a narrative that's been thrown out there? We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll get Brian Munson's opinion on that. Also, a spring game visitor list from Brian at 3:30. But that'll do it for this first segment. We got to get with Joe Smith on the other side, talking NBA playoffs and more in just a minute.
You don't think about your roof very often. You take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place at roofcomp.com for more info today.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark
morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hard one of Butcher's Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about the morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome.
If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basements? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Basements. You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and landscaping and construction. You money buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April, with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
There's a new way to vacate when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, Dallas, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFly today. Flights are public charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for The Body Shop. I recently had an incredible massage from Dennis and his team at The Body Shop, and now a massage for you can possibly turn into a free massage for your mom. That's right, with every service you receive in April, your name is put into a drawing for a free massage gift certificate that can turn into a wonderful Mother's Day gift for the mom in your life. Book your appointment at thebodyshoplincoln.com and stop by their location at 48th and A. The Body Shop.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go big red.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa,
Dim plus.
order a pizza with one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block. Me and Austin Orman joining you here, but we're not alone, Austin. We're not by ourselves on this one. This is a segment where I was privileged and glad to get a former teammate, number 1 overall pick back in 95 to the Golden State. Now, see, back then, they were coming off Run TMC and so Joe was kind of the early beginning stages of, a crew out there of young bucks, kind of getting it started, Latrell Sprewell types. And
Young Bucks? I thought the Bucks were later.
Well,
Young Warriors.
Young Warriors. And Chris Webber and just that whole crew, everybody was just balling out, getting after each other, and Joe Smith was a part of that crew. Joe Smith, aka Joe Beast, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on, E Strick? What's going on, Austin? How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful,
Yeah,
doing
great,
wonderful, man. Doing wonderful, my friend. Hey, thank you that you was able to join us today, man. Thanks for tapping in. Got a lot to get to, man. But first and foremost, Derek Pearson, he just showed me a picture of you and Walt Williams, on your draft night. He hosted an event for you guys before you took the stage as the number 1 guy with the wonderful laced suit on. You was dressed to impress back in the day. So tell us, man, just real quick, just start it off, man. What was it like? What was the whole process when you're leading up to that? You're going to work out. You go to combine. You're working out for all kinds of teams. They're asking you crazy questions. And then, when did you kind of know? What was that process, and what was the feeling and the emotions of just walking up there being the number 1 overall pick?
I mean, the process was crazy. I mean, I visited the top 3 teams. It was the Warriors, Sixers, and I can't remember who had the 3rd pick. Mm-hmm. But I visited the top 3 teams. And, like you said, they put you through workouts. They put you through an interview process. But the workouts were ridiculous because it was like the best workouts I ever had in my life for all 3 teams. And I really didn't know that I still didn't know that I was going to be picked first because our draft class was so deep.
Right.
Myself, Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse, Kevin Garnett, Damon Stoudemire, Antonio McDyess, so I really didn't know. I still didn't know. But the workout that I had with the Golden State Warriors, man, was probably the best workout ever, man. I may have missed 1 or 2 shots the entire workout, and they put me through all types of shooting drills and, ball handling drills and post moves and all types of stuff, man. And I think that kind of put me over the edge a little bit. That workout put me over the edge a little bit. And sitting in this green room, draft night, nerves, the nerves are on edge, and, not knowing where I'm going to be picked. I know I'm going to be picked at least top 3, but still not knowing which pick. But just hearing your name called as the number 1 pick, man, it was like a relief, like one of the greatest feelings you can ever have, man. And walking across that stage, seeing David Stern at the time on stage, and shaking his hand, it really made me feel like I made it. All the dreams, all the goals, and everything that you do, and have that as a kid. I really felt like I made it at that moment.
No doubt. We're not going to get into the controversy, and the details of that. It's very, people are very knowledgeable and knowing that there was a part of your career that was it wasn't your fault. It was mired, but it's deals that are done in the back rooms type of situation. That was tough, and it had to be tough for you because I think it cost you a little bit of cash over the course of your, and maybe it didn't. I mean, you still might have got it. I don't know, but we ain't gonna go into that. But you're a career guy that was knocking on the door of double doubles for a great portion of your career. A lot of people, at your size, playing the power forward position. I think that you were a little ahead of yourself, Joe B. I think you were ahead of your day very well.
And good thing I worked on that a lot. But I mean, it was a tough adjustment at first, but once I got the hang of it, man, it was just like another day in the office.
Big facts. Maryland, you kind of opened the door, started really a big run for Maryland basketball down there. Especially after the success that you had in the ACC, in its prominence and dominance of time.
Right.
You guys were one of the big dogs that made that happen, and you led that charge. Do you think you could have went a little bit further? Do you think maybe you should have stayed and saw it through, or do you think it was just time for you to move on?
I think it was time for me to move on. I mean, it was. I had 2 great years at the University of Maryland. I can't take nothing away from that. And our first year, it was we surprised a lot of people. A lot of people didn't see us coming, and we were able to make it to the Sweet 16 my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, we were on the radar at that point, so we had to come out a little differently and approach games differently. So I mean, it was a great learning experience on how to approach the game. I learned a lot from Coach Williams. I learned a lot from the players on our team, and I just felt it was time for me to go. I mean, if I would have stayed a couple more years, we may have gotten a championship, but a championship or 2. But I thought at that moment, at that time, it was time for me to move on. And I sat down with Coach Williams in his office before I made my decision, and he pretty much told me the same thing. So
yeah, no doubt.
So so I really didn't. I felt bad about leaving, but I really felt like I was moving on to a good position.
Well, let's quickly talk about this because there's been some changes and some adjustments. I'll talk about. I wish I could play you the clip, but I'll kind of verbatim it. But let's just talk about the playoffs real quick, man. Especially with some of the changes. The rules have definitely changed in the favor of a lot of people. You're seeing now that back in our times, we maybe shot. If we shot 8, 10 3-pointers in a game, just over that was a lot. We were like, damn, we were shooting tonight. Now you've got guys by themselves shooting 10, 12, 14 individually threes. That's not even collectively. So there's been some changes and adjustments to the game. Another thing has been, the foul situation. And I have to feel this debate a lot, Joe Beast, man. And that's, the Michael Jordan situation. And I keep telling people, I'm like, man, y'all crazy. MJ would have minimum average 45 in today's game just because of just how dominant you got to play against him. You've got to see him. But now there's 2 players injured. I want you to address the first question, and then we'll talk about like Giannis ends up going out the first half through injury. And as well as Ja Morant, 2 major top contributors are now find themselves at a deficit down 0-1. But we'll talk about that quickly next. And if I need to address the question, I will. But tell us just kind of the difference of the game now compared to then.
I mean, obviously they wanted more scoring, throughout the years, from when we played, it was all about defense and locking down and like you said, not shooting as many threes, but trying to get a good quality look at the basket, whether it's mid-range or layups or dunks first. But now the game is spread out a lot more. From 1 through 5 is almost a positionless game right now. A lot of teams, play small ball. When you play small ball back in the days, that was we'll find ways to crush it on the inside. But now it's like teams play small ball and everybody just spreads the floor and there's a lot of driving kicks. And, sometimes I feel like, a lot of guys have layups and, mid-range jump shots, but they're looking for the 3 more often now. And like you say, individuals are putting up 12, 13, 14, 15 3-pointers a game. And, that's because, obviously because of what Steph Curry brought to the game. And how many championships that they were winning and how effective the Golden State Warriors have been. But also because, you're having more shooters in the game. A lot of people are working on that 3-point shot. A lot of guys are, trying to take advantage of that 3-point shot. And with unfortunately, what the analytics, I hate
Right.
to speak on it, but with the analytics, they want and expect you to take more 3-point shots nowadays than what it was back in our time.
Yeah, so George Gervin says this, and you gotta love Iceman but he's got a point. And I want to throw this out to the Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Just your thoughts on this question I'm about to drop right now. George Gervin, I've got a quote from George Gervin on an interview that he did, and he basically said he was called up when Klay Thompson broke his record, and I believe it was scoring for a quarter. And he broke that record, and they called him and they said, hey, Klay has just broken your record. And he's like, what record? My record ain't broken. And he says what I did with 2 points. Back then there was no 3-point shot. So he was getting buckets like that with only 2s. And then he said, well, I think you need to put an asterisk by that because, I did what I did with 2s and no 3s. So my record still should be standing, basically, is what he said. So because that's the crazy thing. Break that down.
He speaks the truth and he speaks his mind. And he has a point there. Like you say, he has a great point, with the way they're shooting 3s. And I don't know how many 3s Klay might have hit.
I think he hit 9. I think he hit 8 or 9. Yeah.
In that one quarter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a big difference when you're hitting 8 or 9 threes in that one quarter compared to having to get to bucket or having to score mid-range or having to score other ways besides shooting a 3-pointer. That changed a lot in the game. And he has a great point with that comment, with that statement. And I guess we can put it 2 ways. You can go by today's game, and then you can go by yesterday's game if you want to look at it that way. But he has a good point.
Yeah. Now let's get into the playoffs a little bit. Real quick. Do you think there needs to be some adjustments, maybe to some defensive stuff? It seems as though both him and Giannis and Ja Morant, similar to how they changed the rule. You remember when Kawhi Leonard and Zaza Pachulia used to kind of go up, and then they changed the rule a little bit about being able to go under people with their so they kind of find ways to make those adjustments. Now these were blocking calls, kind of guys were starting to get elevated, and then guys slide up under them. Do you think there maybe needs to be an adjustment to a rule in those types of situations, being that now people are getting more hurt?
I don't know what type of adjustment they can make with that one.
Right.
That's a tough one.
I
mean, it's I think it also comes to how the guys are taking the charges too.
Mm-hmm.
Because Eastrick, both of us know we took a lot of charges in our day.
Facts.
And we didn't let nobody come down the way they letting guys come down. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I think it's also the way they're taking the charge. I mean, I'm watching these guys and their bodies as they're taking the charges. They're almost falling before the contact is getting in. And you and I, we took it to the chest first, fell, and that allowed the offensive player to have a cushion when he fell as well. So
Facts.
It's a tough call to make. But Ja, he just jumped so high, man, that it's ridiculous that it's kind of tough to make that call. He just jumped so high and explode so high that his land is going to be a tough fall if you're taking the charge the wrong way. And with Giannis, the same situation. I mean, was his on the charge?
Yeah, both of them were blockings. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Giannis the same situation. I mean, I think the way I looked at Morant, and I think his wrist bent underneath on his landing, and I think that was what was the issue with his. I didn't see Giannis's full.
Yeah, he kind of fell on his back. On his.
Oh yeah, the back part. Yeah, I did see that. He went up. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Like you said, it's the way. Like I said, it's the way guys are taking the charge. We took it in the chest, and that allowed the offensive player, some type of cushion to land and fall. But they're falling before the offensive player gets there, so they're not able to kind of embrace the offensive player as well.
Got you.
A couple things that I've seen thrown out there for ways to go about it, because eliminating the charge, I think, would open things up a little bit too much.
Too much, exactly. Yeah. You can't do that.
You have to find some way to keep it in there. But a couple of suggestions I've seen are expand the restricted area, bump that arc out a little bit, so you still have to be a little bit further away. The other one is don't let guys slide underneath when someone's already in the air. If you're in position before he takes off after he's gathered, that's fine.
Correct.
But sliding underneath, that's where a lot of the danger comes in. That's what Love did to Giannis. He took off, he was in the air. Love slides in underneath. Do you guys think that would help at all?
It's possible.
The sliding underneath, I thought they approached that years ago and supposedly corrected that years ago with the charges. I thought they did that years ago, so maybe they need to go back to that.
Right. Yeah. Looking at the games and the series at this point, being that they lost Ja Morant, I know they're a team that actually has a pretty good record without Ja Morant.
Right.
But could this be a little bit too much for the Lakers? Being for the Grizzlies to be able to overcome, or do they? You still think they got a pretty fair shot because they got a great home record?
I still think they have a shot, but the way I watched the Lakers play the other day, with the contributions that they got all the way around, if they continue to do that, it'll be tough for the Grizzlies. They got Reeves balling. LeBron and AD are obviously going to do their thing, but the contributions that they're getting from the other players was what got them over the hump even the other day. And if that continues, then Memphis might be in trouble. But how long is Morant out? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they haven't said at this point, but when you're dealing with that wrist situation, it's always a difficult situation.
Right, and there was a hand that he already had injured.
Yeah. Listen, Jimmy Butler doing what Jimmy Butler does type of things. So is it sustainable for Jimmy? Because we've seen him have these types of games, and then we've kind of seen him do some drop-offs. Now with Tyler Hero with a broken hand,
right.
That's going to be a lot of pressure that's put on Jimmy. Can the Bucks bounce back? We still don't know what's up with Giannis. Do they have enough on their team with Drew Holiday as well as Middleton to get it done?
I think they have enough to get it done, but I don't think that's the last of Jimmy Butler though.
Yeah.
But I think the Bucks have enough to get it done. The next game at home, I think they should be able to come out with the victory that game, but they're still going to have to find a way to slow Jimmy down, and he's going to stay aggressive. I don't see him losing his aggressiveness throughout this series, especially if he can continue to get to the basket the way he was getting to the basket the other night. They're going to have to find a way to keep him out of the lane, and but offensively, I think they have enough to come up with the victory in the next game.
Two more. I want to jump to Saturday. Look, it seems like home court advantage in some of these instances, it don't really matter. Obviously it's only one game. It doesn't seem like home court advantage used to be. It's not the same as it used to be back in our time, right?
Right.
But the one did the Cavalier Knick game surprise you? Because everybody all year has been doubting Brunson, and Brunson just continues to show up and show out and show that he was a mistake that the Dallas Mavericks let get away.
Oh my God. The outcome of the game really didn't surprise me. I thought that game, that series, is going to, go back and forth. So I felt, each team is going to win on the other team's home court at one point. But you can really see the effect that Brunson had on the game, because the first half, the foul trouble kept him out of the game, and he really couldn't, get into a rhythm. But second half, once he got into a rhythm and got into a flow, you could really see the way the Knicks was able to really start putting things together out there on the floor. And you could see how much he was missed in the first half. That kid, is really balling out for the Knicks. He really got them in a position that they're in. Although Randall has had a great year, but he's really been the key, driving that car. And they're going to go as far as he leads them. And like I say, I know Randall is still having a great year, but Brunson is the guy that's going to lead the Knicks throughout these playoffs.
For sure. Let's quick talk about this series. This is an intriguing series for me because I think they're unsung and they're where they're supposed to be for a reason. And let's talk about the Kentucky two-step. Wasn't even a starter, but, we knew all year, if you didn't get to see him, that's just because he's out on the West Coast. He's in a small market, and you just didn't really get to see him a lot. But De'Aaron Fox is everything that he's supposed to be. A great pickup for them was Malik Monk. That created the tandem of the Kentucky two-step, and both of them go for 30 and handle business against Golden State. Even when Golden State was making runs, jumping back at them, getting back into the game, they held on, got it done. But can they finish it off?
As far as the finals,
this series. This is a tough series.
It's going to be a tough series. I got this one going 7 as well. That's my sleeper team. Sacramento. And when you finish top 2, top 3 in the West, I don't understand how you're a sleeper team. But I mean, they've done it all year long. They're feisty. They play hard. They compete every night, and that's one reason I think this series is going to go 7. I mean, of course, you have the leadership and veteran. And the veterans on the Golden State Warriors that's been through this before, but these young boys, they come out ready to play. Mike Brown has got them ready to play. The game plan has been sharp, and like you said, there's no quit. Whether you make a run at them and go up, or whether they continue to try to fight to stay in the game. I mean, they have no quit in their blood, so I can see them. Seeing them winning the series is tough because, I say, the Warriors are the Warriors. I can see them. Pushing the Warriors to 7.
Deep. Got 2 more for you, and let's just start with this one before I get to the last one. The Nuggets against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards has been struggling a little bit, as we saw in the playing games. Continuing on, but what's scary about the Nuggets in this particular game? That Jamal Murray is seeming to, he's been consistent, but he's seemingly caught, wind of something. 9 for 22, 4 for 10 from 3. Back to how he was playing in the bubble with a struggling Jokic in the night, who normally kind of leads the team in assists. Jamal took over that, but the depth and the scoring from everybody, from Porter, Gordon, Caldwell, Pope, and as well as Brown, all of them in double figures. So that's scary. If they can continue to play like that with that type of balance, that can make them dangerous in this, for them to make a run.
I mean, that's super scary. I mean, they were already scary before those guys started contributing like that. But when I watched that game last night, man, like you say, they were firing on all cylinders. And Jokic got into foul trouble, so you didn't play much in the second half. But Jamal Murray got his shot going, and you say 9 for 22. I think he started the game maybe 1 or 2 for 8 or 1 or 2 for 9 or something like that. So once he got it going, he really kept his foot on the pedal, and it came from everybody. And if they get that type of contribution, then they're going to be a tough team to beat. I don't see anybody in the West beating them, but they're going to have to continue to be consistent with that and do that every night, though.
Absolutely. And the last game is a series that most people are interested in and want to watch. That's LA Clippers against the Phoenix Suns. LA Clippers go in there and handle business. The matchup between Kawhi Leonard and Durant is always going to be one to watch. And Leonard gets the best of him that night, going nuts. 38 points, just a well-rounded game. Westbrook dropping dimes, struggling, 3 for 19. He can't continue to play that way. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. I think for the long haul, especially without having, their ace in the hole there well in this series. So, but with Leonard playing this way, going in and stealing that one from Phoenix, that's a big win for the Clippers.
that was a big win. Like I said, it surprised me. I didn't think they was gonna be able to go, especially game one. I didn't think they was gonna be able to go in there and steal game one.
Yeah, without George.
Russ, he had no Paul George. Westbrook shooting the way he shot, but he did contribute in other ways, and that's what I love about. That's what I love about his game. I mean, even when he's not shooting the ball well, he's going to do other things that's going to, help his team be successful.
Veteran Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon.
Mr. Quiet Assassin, I call him. He's just so quiet out there, and just gets the job done on a consistent basis. And I just love watching him play because he plays the game the right way. He's not forcing anything, and he just takes what the offense gives him. And I love watching him play.
Great stuff. Hey, man, listen, I held you because we're on the stream today and not necessarily on the radio, so we didn't have to pause for any station identifications or breaks. But we just gonna give away the Stricken today. I had Joe Beast on the line. I had to get all of that out of you today, brother. So I'm glad that you were able to stay around and talk some NBA talk and a little bit about it. But real quick, man, we played together before we go on this break. We played together in Milwaukee. It was a tremendous experience, man. Got to know you real well. Learned a lot about you, that you're a music connoisseur. You write and get in the booth and put music together. It was very good to have the opportunity to play with you, man, and as a brother, and really enjoyed that time we shared together.
Oh man, back at you, bro. I really enjoyed our time. I learned a lot from you, bro. Probably one of the smartest guys I played with, bro. I appreciate the time I played with you, man. And it's always love.
No doubt. And we hope to have you back, man, during the playoffs again. If you would join us, we definitely would love to have you back, man. Great stuff.
Oh man, yeah, of course. Just let me know, and I'm here.
That's our guy, man. Joe Beast, former #1 draft pick, long-time career in the NBA, friend of mine, played at the Bucks with him. Joe, thanks for joining us once again on the block, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
All right, no problem. He's strict. Have a good one. You and Austin, y'all be blessed, man.
All right, appreciate there you. He goes. There, that's great stuff, Austin. Great stuff. Tremendous, just a tremendous person, man. Just a great person. He's like Kawhi, just a silent assassin. Just went about his business. He would be boarding and rebounding and took the assignments, whatever it was given it to him. It didn't matter. He always took it and didn't ask questions. And so I just love that about Joe Beast, Joe Smith, great long-time career. But we've got to take a break. We're going to give away the Stricken coming back off the break.
We will. We're just going to do the tiebreaker question. So it'll be texter number 3. I'll give Strick the tiebreak question. Texter number 3 that says over or under correctly.
That's how we'll do it. We'll get back to you. But we got to take a break. We'll be right back on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or Shop Store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor at Just Days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rug. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done before school starts. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved, because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructors.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real one, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not the perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Not nearly as windy here for our Monday. In fact, a beautiful day on the way. We'll top out at 68. South winds at around 15 by this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Tonight clear with a low down to around 41. Tomorrow windy. Southeast winds gusting over 25. A high of 77 and a chance of evening thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
The condensed game. We got the MLB pitch clock version of the shootout with Strick today. We are stream only. So this Stricken today will go out to either texter or commenter number 3 that gets the correct answer. $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. All right, Strick, here's the question. It's going to lead us into next.
I gotta listen.
Well.
Let me pay it. Whoa, hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I am going to get the music on in the background. There still will be the time limit, but you have plenty of time. You have about 37 seconds to think of this one, so no rush on it. Are you ready for the tiebreaker question?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Tom Brady earned the most salary of anybody in NFL history. How many millions of dollars did he earn in his career in salary alone?
$110 million.
Okay, Strick says Tom Brady earned $110 million in salary alone in his NFL career. Texter or commenter number 3 that says over or under will be the one to earn the $15. Again, the number Strick said, $110 million. If you think it's over or under, comment now. Texter number 3 with the correct answer. Again, we don't need the right number. We just need over or under. Texter number 3 will be the one to win the $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So get those answers in. We'll step aside when we get back. We'll talk about a quarterback that just got himself paid. Jalen Hurts gets an extension today, becoming the new highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. We'll talk about that, what it means for him, what it means for the Eagles, and the other quarterbacks coming down the pipe with their extensions. We'll talk about all that and more as we get underway with Hour 2 on the block next.
Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at KoppelCars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Roof Credit.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grill hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule a catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done before school starts. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 on the block your way here on a Monday, brought to you by our sponsor down in, I can't point that way. Down in the corner, Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Big thanks to Charles and his crew for the great work that they do. Back open on Wednesday, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Strickland?
Absolutely. And the weather's supposed to be lovely, so go on down there, grab you something, take it home, sit on your patio, and just have a nice meal on Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That part.
We do have a winner in the shootout with
And it ain't Stricky.
It's Chase B. Chase B on the text line. You are the winner with the answer of over. Tom Brady, in his career, in salary, $257 million.
Damn it. I knew he made some cake. But I will say this. This is nothing on Austin, or I'm not going to give nothing to that. This is on Stricky. My mind was saying salary, because the NFL is a little bit uniquely different. If you'd said salary in the NBA, I would think, okay, there's no bonus system. So I'm thinking just salary. And I remembered that he only, he took less money because he wanted to, make sure he had good teams and got good players. And so I'm thinking, okay, salary. Okay, well, maybe he made $8 million this year, 100-something million. And it's also included bonuses. So I viewed it wrong. But I still would have lost. It didn't matter. I still would have lost.
Where I was coming from was super lame. It's just what he earned from football.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
And so,
I got to phrase it that way. So
yeah. No, we're good. We're good. It was a giveaway of the stricken anyway. Somebody was going to win regardless. So that's the good thing.
The reason the question was asked was to get us into Jalen Hurts, the newest quarterback to be the highest paid quarterback in football. Tom Pelissero, I believe he's with NFL Network. Yep. Reported earlier this morning, the Eagles and Jalen Hurts agreed to terms on a 5-year, $255 million contract extension. Facts. $51 million a year for Jalen Hurts, now the highest paid player in NFL history. Of that $255 million, $179.3 of it is fully guaranteed. Your first reaction to the extension?
He's going to be the highest paid. That's going to set the boundaries, and then you start looking at Mahomes' contract, and yes, it's long. Long as he can stay healthy, it's going to be probably the best bargain that you can get for it. It's a lot more, longevity so it's great in that aspect. The worst I think is still by far Deshaun Watson's contract, but he's gonna touch some paper. Now the thing you got to look at with Jalen Hurts is you've got a couple people that's following up with him. Now I understand why they did it, Austin. The understanding of why they did this contract is because he was drafted in the second round. So therefore he doesn't get that 5th year in order for evaluations to be able to take place. He was, therefore they had to get a deal done, in this deal, him having an MVP type of season. They had to step up to the plate, and they had to step up earlier than probably they maybe wanted to. They maybe would love to have seen him another year before they had to make a decision. So they had to extend him. It's still a good bargain for them. It's still a good bargain. He sets the bar still early. Zach Wilson is going to be one that's not a great overall bargain deal because he was the number 2 overall pick. The ones that got to watch for, I think Tua is still in a watch and see because of injury. Don't know what the concussions are going to do for him, but he could be one that's next up. He's got a great receiver in Tyreek Hill. If he can continue the success that he's having there in Miami, that could be something to watch out for. The other one to keep your eye on, because you got one more year before you have to do it, is the Joe Burrow one. That's the one that's going to probably exceed it if he continues to have, getting to the championship, getting to the, deep into the playoffs again. But there's a decision that's going to have to be made with that team. Joe, it could end up being a bargain for him, depending on if he takes the
Brady route,
the Brady route, and kind of watches that blueprint, and they're able to secure and keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Otherwise, they're going to have to make a decision. They got a good deal with the Eagles because they were able to secure A.J. Brown at a steal of a deal. So that's why that ends up working out for them. The other one that you got to kind of watch is the how the Jones deal is going to work, because they got to decide on, if they franchise him, you're probably going to lose Saquon Barkley. If you're able to kind of work something on a lower side, get a good negotiation, I don't think he's that tier that Hurts is. So they could actually work that out, probably franchise, because I'm sure the Giants are looking at this situation, Austin, similar to what the Cowboys, and they're like, he's that kind of guy. Actually, he's probably more versatile than Zeke is, in the fact that he's very good out of the backfield. He's a great runner, but he's been injury prone. Do you want to pay somebody that kind of money? So they would hope to probably franchise him as opposed to do it the other way around.
Absolutely. 2 other guys that I think we have to talk about when it comes to this discussion about, especially the quarterback contracts.
Ooh, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar has to be in that conversation.
Baker Mayfield's in it, but he's out of it. Let's be real. Unless he just does something crazy in this next deal.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert's the one. Yeah.
He's coming up next.
You're the one. You're the one. Yeah, he's the one coming up next too.
Do you give more money to Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, just based on their play alone? Because here's the thing. Because Jalen Hurts got his done first, Joe Burrow is going to be more expensive. Joe Burrow's going to make more money.
Facts.
Is that right? Does Jalen Hurts deserve more? Does Joe Burrow deserve more based on their play?
I think Joe Burrow's been more consistent for a longer period of time. If he continues that, being now that he's starting to get some depth and some quality linemen that can protect him, for him to be able to do it without the protections that he's had, the weapons, if he can keep the weapons together that he has. Joe Mixon is kind of messing it up right now for him, the trouble he's getting himself into. He's been tailoring off, dropping off a little bit. I think they may be looking in the draft to maybe shore up somebody solid in the line position, or maybe a running back that they can find late in the draft. Obviously losing P. Ryan, not having Mixon, and then the trouble at the running back positions that they've had with both of them. They probably want to find somebody that they can kind of come in. They would love to secure somebody like Pacheco. Like if they could find somebody in the draft like what Pacheco was to Mahomes and that crew, and the success that they were able to have with him, I'm sure they would love to have that.
Who deserves more money based on their play, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson?
Dang, man, you threw that one at me. Sauter Heyman text line helps Tricky on that one. Who would deserve it more, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson? Obviously, Lamar Jackson's not going to get it right now. I think it sets the bar for him. I think he has to have a comparable season to what Jalen Hurts has had.
Lamar's an NFL MVP already, though.
I know. It's unfortunate, but he's one of those set up to get hurt type of quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Hurts is like that. He's capable in the same manner that Lamar Jackson is, but he's not. He's smarter.
He's shorter and thicker.
He's thicker, can take more punishment, and he knows how to run just enough and get the heck out, get the heck down to keep from that. Lamar Jackson is like, shoot, I'm trying to go for the gold. So they're different than in style. But I think, I'm going to be honest, I think Jalen showed that he throws it a lot better than Lamar.
He's improved each of his 3 years. 52% completion his rookie year, 61% in a full season in 2021, and then did miss the 2 games at the end of the season, but 66.5% completion year 3.
Kept building. Yeah, he's showing consistency there. I really think that Lamar has a chance to show and prove why he deserves it. Hopefully Odell can be that solid number one that they're looking for. You've already got pretty good tight end work. I think your running game, you want to minimize how much he has to freaking run the ball. I know your run pass option stuff, and all of that's good, and it's helped to be successful in the style that you play. But at the same time, it's putting your quarterback in
protect your assets.
It's putting him in so much jeopardy each year, each time that he's exposing himself to that.
Let them use their legs to be creative. Don't use their legs, as the tool. Right. Yeah. Because part of that is the quarterback run game that makes those guys so special is their creativity, their spontaneity, where they make something out of nothing, not they're a second running back.
Facts. I think another one to watch that's going to be coming up soon. If he can have another successful year in his growth and projections that he's striving to slowly, you're just kind of watching him, is Trevor Lawrence. Kind of keep your eye on what that's going to look like. If they can continue to build around him, get him, continue trending in that way, he could be the next one. Looking forward as well.
We're going to switch the conversation to college football next. Husker spring game, of course, this weekend. We're going to talk who's on the visitor list for the Huskers on the football side, the names to know, the under-the-radar guys as well. We do all that as we do every Monday with Brian Munson of Husker Online after this.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and Andermatt. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
There's a new way to vacay when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, Dallas, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFlyRed.com and book today. Flights are public charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Talking Husker football recruiting right now on the block on a Monday. Great way to start our week off, and yours with the best recruiting information around as we go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Welcome in our man with boots on the ground on the inside of Husker recruiting, Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, how you doing? Having a good week?
Yeah, literally boots on the ground, sitting up here in the motherland out in Kearney right now, man. So hoping it does not snow. Are you actually seeing some flurries in the forecast.
Don't
that
say
far
that.
east?
Don't say that, bro. I bind that. I don't want no parts of that action or smoke. Otherwise, I'm on a plane.
I hear you. I mean, and there's so many guys coming in this weekend. I don't want to call it like the junior day kind of level, but there's some return visitors. There's some guys coming in from some warmer weather areas. Last thing you really need in that time frame there is a flurry sitting on the ground on Saturday morning. So definitely thinking bigger picture here, guys. That's all I'm saying.
And that's why we like having you on, thinking bigger picture. You're getting your spring game visitor list put together, right?
I'm trying, man. I tell you what, it's coming together, slow and steady. We've added a couple guys today. Actually, just added a very big one in Makai Sena, the Arlington Martin 4-star interior offensive lineman. So this is Coach Bob Wagger's former, high school player. And Ishmael Flores and Jeremiah Charles, and Gage Wagger's former teammate. So big dude, 6'5", 285-ish, taking a lot of trips so far. Good to see him come to Nebraska. I had kind of heard that he wasn't necessarily, as tight as Charles and Flores kind of were, but there's some weird little things kind of working in the back end out there in Arlington. It kind of comes down to like where you went to middle school and like that, those are your buddies. And, so that there's definitely some of those little underlying factors, but good to see Nebraska is getting in this weekend.
Great. The only thing we like better than getting in the minds of high school players is getting into the mind of high school players when they were in middle school. I'm sure that's a ton easier, right?
I tell you what, from as many different angles and lenses as I have to look at them through, that's just part of it right there. I mean, when you get in those bigger metro areas, sometimes talking to like Dwight Boodle last year and going through the various high school changes he went through and the guys he went to middle school with and stuff like that. Those are certainly topics that we have to get into from time to time.
So Brandon Baker, another big name on the docket, announced on Twitter that he's coming back for the spring game this weekend. Any other of those, top of the class headline style guys on your visitor list so far?
Well, we added Carter Nelson last night, and I'll tell you something. I mean, I think probably a lot of people are rolling around, well, the Ainsworth, Nebraska kid. Look, this is the guy that just got back from Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee. He just did that southeast swing through the Sun Belt. He has seen, those top teams that are really, entered the picture trying to get a kid out of the backyard of, in the middle of the backyard of Nebraska. I mean, literally just, it's such an interesting story that, you got a guy like that growing up where he is and how kind of secluded, the town of Ainsworth really is, being hours away from Kearney or Sioux Falls or Grand Island or whatever you want to say. So I think it's always big when Carter comes to town. I really, he is definitely the top player in the state of Nebraska. He's doing some good things out there on the track and, he's getting ready probably to set up the next round of his big visits, and he'll be out in the West Coast here shortly between UCLA and USC and Oregon, and it wouldn't surprise me at all at some point he gets down to Texas too to check out A&M in Austin. So things are big with him right now, and I know that Notre Dame is still very much in the picture, and he wants to get back there at some point. So I think that's a big one. We confirmed Dylan Williams from Long Beach Poly last week as well, 4-star, linebacker. He's coming in. Actually, he's got a friend that'll be in as well, but he's coming in a little bit sooner. Kamar Mathudi, he's from Campbell Hall High School. He's coming in on Thursday for practice. Could not get there for the spring game, but he's at least coming in. Another linebacker, but they're buddies, and that's big. And Willis McGahee, he confirmed again to me Sunday night or Monday night that he'd be back into Nebraska, even though Dylan Raiola was one of the big reasons why he wanted to come back, and Dylan's not coming in now.
Those are some of the big names, Brian, as you look at the list. Who are some of the guys that, in your opinion, are under the radar that Husker fans should be excited are in town this weekend for the spring game?
Jordan Ochoa is a name to kind of pay attention to. So Ochoa visited Nebraska a week ago. He's originally from Gearing. He moved to Colorado. His dad played for UNK, played defensive line. He is, wanted some more attention than what he felt like he could get being from Gearing, and it's worked. And he actually picked up his first P5 offer last week from Washington State. He's a 6'4", 220-poundish, edge guy, and he's a guy to keep an eye on. I mean, he's got ties back to the state, and he's a little bit under the radar. He's the kind of guy that's going to start percolating here in the next month or two. I think the evaluation period is going to be big for him. I think the summer camp tour is going to be big for him. It'll be very interesting to see how kind of the official visits get to go for him. But I like the Ochoa guy coming in definitely that weekend. There's also another guy coming in on Thursday that's interesting because I liked his film. Not going to lie to you, Tyler Wesley, Greenville, Mississippi, from Olive Branch High School, and I really like his film. He's an edge guy. He's about the same size as Ochoa. He doesn't quite have Ochoa's athleticism, in my opinion. Ochoa's a little bit different there in that space, but really still a very good player. He's kind of a guy that's kind of budding a little bit. He's taking some trips. He's getting a chance to get out there, and those are a couple of guys that are a little bit more off the radar. Another guy. Here you go. Pierce, the 2025 guy, Pierce Mooberry, Millard North, was there last Saturday, picked up an offer from Iowa State on Thursday, coming back to Nebraska, I think, tomorrow for practice, and then is going to get completely and totally into a decision-making mode to have to either go to Nebraska or go to Ames for the spring game this weekend. So if Nebraska offers on Tuesday, watch and see if Mooberry makes it back on Saturday. That would be a big sign.
If you missed the write-up on Mooberry, Brian, I believe you have one of those up on 3, do you not?
We do. So yes, that's one that's coming up. I probably won't write another one tomorrow unless he picks up an offer. I gotta think that he's going to get an offer. That's a long kid, and he's a really nice athlete. But yeah, 6'4", 200-ish. Yeah, but his story's still up there.
As we're talking Husker football recruiting with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on the block, Brian, what makes this spring game weekend successful for Nebraska on the recruiting front? Is it anything quantifiable, or is it going to be just more they feel good about their chances with guys coming out of the weekend?
Quantifiable. I don't know if I'm looking currently at the visitor list, if I feel like any of these guys are going to jump in. You're hoping that you make additional headroom here. You want to make some more. You want to improve your position still a little bit more. Brandon Baker, obviously it's a huge sign that he came back into town, but you want to keep positioning yourself with him and getting Sena to come to town finally, and even Peyton Morgan, who's from Pflugerville, Texas, who I failed to mention before, 4-star safety that we confirmed on Saturday night. You want to see increased improvement. And I think the big reason why, and this is kind of dull, but it's the truth, Nebraska's playing in a different end of the pool right now. You're down at the deep end of the pool. And these guys that are at the deep end of the pool, the big fish, the highly rated guys, they aren't typically coming off the board, in March and April. And they're usually not coming off the board on their first unofficial visit. So you're going to have had an established relationship going into this time frame, or hoping that you're bringing them back 2 or 3 times in quick succession. Otherwise, you're looking to kind of get out of this time frame. You want them to come back again, hopefully, in June. You want to get them back then, and you want to figure out, what else you can do to kind of get those guys coming back as much and as often as possible now, leading into the rest of the summer.
Okay, Brian, I'm glad you took it that direction, because Strick and I were going to get into that before other news broke and we pivoted. If you look at what Nebraska football's done, you get Dylan Raiola to campus and get him to the basketball game, you get that scene. Brandon Baker coming back, Micah Parsons back in the day, and basketball even, gets an unofficial with Koa Pete, the number 3 rated prospect in the 2025 class. None of those guys have chosen Nebraska, but they're all at least somewhat interested, listening to some degree in what the program can offer, what they can bring to it. Should visits from those guys, official, unofficial, whatever, do anything to change the perception that it's hard to recruit to Nebraska, or does that perception only change when Nebraska actually lands some of these guys?
That's such a great question. Look, I would tell you that opportunity it has been there, and I think that if you dwell, and I think if we all talked, if we were having this discussion and we wanted to lay out what the pros and the cons were of Nebraska football when it comes to recruiting, we could come up with a great list on both sides. And I think that there are those that are optimists that will look at the pros and say they far outweigh the cons, and they would take that job and feel like they could do the job and move it forward. And then I think that there's some guys that would go out there and they would try to do the job. They'd have the cons in the back of their head, and when they didn't get these guys to come in for whatever reason, they would go back to that con list and basically go back and point to the points on there and say, well, that came into play here, and that came into play here, and that came into play here. I think that there are pros and cons to both things, and I think it's about how you frame this thing up. And I think what Matt Rule so far has done is he is selling Nebraska. He's selling Lincoln. He's selling the school. He's selling the program. He's not selling himself. It's not been about Matt Rule and his ties to pro football and his successes that he's had at Baylor, or his great offensive mind, and you want to be out there and doing things, playing the skill positions for him because of all the past places that he has been in his resume. And it's not that. It could be that, but that's not what Matt Rule and his staff are doing. They are focused on the guys that want to be there, coming to Nebraska for the right reasons. They think that Lincoln is a wonderful place. They think it's a great school, great tradition. And they think that the facilities there are going to be awesome. And they are selling those things to the kids, and the kids love it. And they love that coaching staff, their transparency, and just how relatable they are. So I think that you can dwell on either one of those two things, and you could find yourself then doing a poor job or a great job. But I think that Nebraska, the brand is still strong. Coming from Texas, the brand is strong down there. It always has been. You just felt like you couldn't recruit them anymore because you went to the Big Ten. And that was a fallacy. It was a total fallacy. It was a lie. It was a way to get out of that state and go look someplace else that you wanted to go look like in Florida. So, and those are probably taking some shots, maybe a little bit too close to some people, but that's just my honest opinion.
So as we continue this Husker recruiting conversation, Brian, I wasn't around in the 70s, 80s, and for just the last couple of years of the 90s, but it seems to me that this perception that it's hard to recruit to Nebraska has really only come about, when Nebraska hasn't been winning at the level that Nebraska wants to be at. Is it that simple that, winning would help that much to get prospects back? Or do you think, again, depending on how you frame the conversation about Nebraska in your mind personally, have Nebraska staffs in the past held themselves back and not targeting, the big fish in the deep end of the pool in the last 20, 25 years?
Well, they've targeted those guys, but they've also found quick exits. They've also been able to find guys and say, hey, Brandon Baker 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, gets an offer from Nebraska, but when they have that initial conversation, when they offer, they go, not a likely target, move on to the next guy. And as opposed to, this guy is a difference maker. This guy 3 years from now, you're going to hear him and his name being called from wherever the NFL draft is that year, and Goodell's calling him up, and he's a first-round draft pick. There are two ways, again, to look at things, and I think that what you do is you sell out like what Nebraska has been doing for Baker, for Raiola, for the wide receiver that's now top 5 last
Bear.
night. Just went, Bear. So what you've got to find those guys there. And even like a Carter Nelson, and you've got to go out there and you've got to completely and totally sell out and convince those guys that they are the top of their board, and that you feel like if they all joined your class, you could pull together something special. And they've got to see the bigger picture though too, because right now there's nothing for Rule and his staff really to stand on, because they don't have a proven record. They're a brand new staff. So They've got to see energy. They've got to see the excellent things that you could do at practice, because there is no track record at how many wins and losses that you're going to have, in the season, because you just haven't gotten there yet. So it's going to come down to sometime this fall, like a guy like Brandon Baker that doesn't plan to announce his decision until December. He's going to want to see some of these things kind of come to light. He's going to want to see some how the team is playing and how the offense and the offensive line is working and looking. That's going to be big for a guy like that. Because, look at the other schools he's considering. Oregon, USC. I think he was just at Texas too. You're recruiting to get some of the best programs in the nation that've got established coaches and established records here recently and have great facilities as well. Nebraska has got some deficiencies to be able to recruit against that, but Rule and his staff are making up for it in other areas, and they're selling them that promise.
You mentioned Bear. We'll circle back to him in just a second for a couple quick thoughts, but what you're saying to me, Brian, is that Nebraska, when it has to be committed, it can't be afraid of missing out on a guy, because you're not going to get him if you don't try, right?
That's exactly right. If you want to go out there and think that you can just sign the 2 stars, the 3 stars, they're easier gets, and that you think that you can just develop them all, there's probably some guys in that group that you're going to be able to develop. We've seen it before. We know who the J.J. Watts are. We know who those guys are. They came out of nowhere. They came out of left field. And yeah, you've got to have a system in place that is as interested working with those 3-star guys as they are the 4 and the 5-star guys. And I think that the way that the system kind of sets up, it looks at it from in terms of the information that's at hand. We're looking at the guys that have the offers, that have the production, that have the system and the way to kind of expose these guys. You got to wonder how a guy like Bear would be if he was sitting in Dallas, Texas, or where would Carter Nelson be if he was in Kansas City? You really got to sit there and wonder about some of that stuff, because the rankings in a lot of ways just still have not caught up with those guys, and they're high 4-star guys. And that just lets you know a little bit like what my opinion is on those 2 guys. I think that they're borderline 5-star, if not 5-star guys. And I think that, to your point, it's like, if you're not going to go out and identify your guys based on your evaluation, based on the way that you want to approach your process, your 500-mile radius, the way that the guys all set up in it, then you're not being truthful to yourself, and you're selling things out, and you're almost like, I'll just call you electricity, because you're taking the path of least resistance. And you need to have a couple other things, a couple other irons in the fire, but you've got to go and get those top guys, and you've got to really go out there and sell out for them.
We'll wrap up with Gatlin Bear. He does name his top 5, like you said, Boise State, Michigan, Oregon, TCU, along with Nebraska. Reading the write-up from On3, he spoke a lot about Nebraska and what Coach Rule was doing. He's going to take his 5 officials this summer. He says, what are the chances Nebraska has with him?
I think they're real good. This is a guy that's still going to take a Mormon trip. He's going to be gone for 2 years. He's going to start that trip in January and be gone until 2026. But this is also a guy that ran a 10-1-8-100, and he's 6'3" 6'4", or whatever, 190, and he's a big dude. I've always kind of felt like, in talking to him, there's been a real soft spot for Boise State. There's always been a real soft spot for Boise State, and that's obviously a geographic problem, and that's where you start to kind of get into this situation as like, Nebraska is going to Brandon Baker, USC, backyard, Oregon, brother plays at Oregon, Bear from Idaho, Boise State. Nebraska is going to find themselves more and more in these situations where geography tends to figure in the longer that the process carries out. So Nebraska has to find ways to close on players that are going to get down to top 3, top 5, and have schools in their own backyard that are part of that list, because that's where things are going to get really, really difficult for him down that stretch.
So regardless of where he picks, you mentioned that Mormon mission he's going on.
Yeah.
A 2024 guy in that class, would he count against the scholarship limit for 2 years, or does his scholarship not, take effect until he actually gets on campus?
No, it would actually take effect once he gets back on campus. And there really isn't any type of like binding thing there after that kind of time frame either. So it's kind of a slippery slope. It's one of those things where he could have a revelation while he's on his trip, someplace, and just starts falling in love with the area that he is. Let's say he goes to Wyoming, loves Laramie, and all of a sudden wants to be a cowboy. That kind of story's happened before. There was the big old quarterback that did that before, where he committed to some school and then ended up back at BYU after he took the trip. So that's stuff that obviously can happen, and there's really nothing that anybody would be able to do about it at that time. So yeah, there's a recruiting process now. There'll be a recruiting process to continue as he's on his trip, as he's on his mission, and you want to go ahead and make sure you maintain that relationship with him.
Fascinating stuff all around on that front, and we'll obviously be sure to monitor that for a couple of years at least as Gatlinburg takes his Mormon mission. So I hope you're not tired of writing about him yet, Brian, because that's a name that's going to keep popping up, it seems like.
Job security for us, guys. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. Brian, we appreciate you here every Monday here on The Block. Thanks for the great insights, and keep the snow away from Kearney. If it gets to Kearney, do your best to promise us that you'll stand out there and stop it from getting any further east.
If you thinking I'm up here from Texas because I wanted to see the white stuff on the ground, you got another thing coming. So I'll be doing everything I can here.
Brian, you're the man. Appreciate it. Have a good spring game weekend, man.
All right, be good, guys. We'll see you.
Once again, Brian Munson, Husker online. Great stuff from Brian.
Always great stuff. They are very thorough. Just keep eyes out. I think the thing with Nebraska, before we go to break, I think we really just need to understand is like things like Bryce McGowan's coming. His success now as he's moved on into the NBA, now getting an opportunity to get onto the floor. You're seeing that in basketball, and I think Coach Rule is just selling, like he said, he's not selling past, he's not selling tradition, he's not selling history, selling them, and the vision for where they see these young men being able to go into, and it's working.
That it is. We're going to step aside for a moment, cross it over with the old school crew that's sitting right in front of me. Jay having some travel issues. I hope he gets back safely. Kenny out today. So DP will step in for the crossover. And I believe you and DP are leading off old school.
Yeah, I'll stay around a little bit. Just help out the old school crew because I'm an old school guy.
Yes, sir. So stick around for the crossover and the start of old school here on 93.7 The Ticket next.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into garner.com. If you want excellent benefits, small work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to MWRbuildingandfence.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air. When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to MWRbuildingandfence.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basements? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. At Foundation Repair, we fix basements.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are wrapping up On the Block here on a Monday on 93.7 The Ticket. Stream edition. Still waiting for that radio signal to get back up and going. Hopefully, fingers crossed, before 6 o'clock, when we'll carry Royals pregame here on the radio. Royals and Rangers start a series tonight. Hope that's up and going. Don't forget Saturday, Nebraska spring game. Just got done talking to Brian about that. We're doing our own thing. We got pregame coverage starting at 10:30 down in the Haymarket at Tipsy Tina. So come by, say hi to all of us there at the Ticket. Make sure you're listening, even if you can't make it down, and say hi. That'll be 10:30 up till kickoff at 1. And then post-game, I believe we can start taking calls at 3. Is that correct, boss man?
That is, in fact, correct. And we'll take them as long as y'all are calling. Like, I'm not even going to trip. That's a big day. So if folks want to vent, like if you in the stadium, it takes you 45 minutes to get out and get home, that's okay. Call there, call from the car, call from the tailgate, call from the parking lot. whatever it is, we'll ride with it. I'm imagining we're going to say 3 to 4, but I would imagine it's closer to 3 to 5 because we're going to see so many new things and be so much to talk about. But the Tipsy Tina's lineup, again, this is a smoker. Like so let me go through.
Yeah, break it down.
Right? So no matter what time you come down, you're going to get ticket people. You're going to get us. But if you get there, if you're there early, if you're just in the Haymarket hanging out before you tailgate or as you tailgate, come on through. We'll have T-shirts to throw out. We'll have some footballs to throw out, some water bottles to throw out. But Jake, Sip, Bush, they'll be there. Like
it's a great group.
They're going to be there. AD and Raph, they're going to be there.
Good stuff.
Right? Austin, Strick, y'all going to be there.
We ain't.
Yeah.
We ain't.
We got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be DP and Coach Kenny Wilhite.
Woo!
Except it's not. It's going to be Jay Foreman and Kenny Wilhite. It's going to be DP and Amon Green.
Okay.
Wow.
Amon Green's going to show up.
Yeah.
Rashawn Farley, captain of the Black Shirts, going to be there. Nick and Rico going to be there. Hey, look, we got a full run for you. Box going to hold down the postgame show.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to be the one that runs the board. Harrison, shout out because he's going to be here in studio making it happen. And then, oh, by the way, there will be other surprise guests who just happen to be in town, who just happen to want to come stop and chop it up. And we going to have that third headset just in case. So you got a football you want signed? You probably want to be at Tipsy Tina's on Saturday. You got a shirt, you want a picture? You want to come up and get a picture with Strick? That Saturday's the time to do it. Come on through.
They don't want pictures.
I tell you what.
Strick, come on now.
Strick will probably tell you, listen, if you're going to ask for a picture, Strick, you probably should have like a margarita in hand to Strick.
Quid pro quo.
Right? Like I think, there's some of the guys are going to require some inducement. Don't come empty-handed. Although I tell you, offer me a fist bump and I might be able to make it happen for you.
For sure.
So it's a big week. The station gets better, and I'm just telling you, I'm looking forward to it because I can tell you, come this fall, pre-games will be a little different.
Facts.
It's going to be a little different.
Okay.
Come this fall.
You don't have to tell the secret today.
We
may warm them up in the summer when the sun's popping.
This business is called a tease. We're looking forward to all of the presentation. Like I can tell you, I told Carricker, it's fall. You coming in for games? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Add that one to the table, right? Add Ricky Simmons, add that one to the table. Like we got some dudes. AG's like, Amon's like, listen, man, I'm in.
That's beautiful.
So we're gonna have some fun. Saturday, we're gonna have a blast Saturday. Friday night, at the Icebox. I'll be dropping the puck.
That's
ceremonial
right.
puck drop. They made it. They haven't told me what number they put on it, but I got a custom jersey they're gonna make. We're gonna drop. I'm no Matt Rule, but hey, I'm gonna represent the ticket, and it's a big one. And look, they're on a roll. They had a nice weekend. So, there's lots going on. I'm excited about all of it. This is why we do this. This is when it gets, we get fun. Like we love what we do. We get to do what we do.
Facts. I do.
And then there are times when it's amped up and you get all fired up.
That's this weekend.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. We don't have we're not on the radio today, right? It's down.
Well, I don't know I still don't. Our technical person that they're working on that.
I just want to making sure we didn't get we didn't need the state of the identification stuff.
No, I mean
so we're good.
Yeah, I mean
we're good to keep it moving.
This is what a part of the master plan for 937 ticket. We can't. Moving the tower requires an act of Congress. Just short of an act of Congress of moving the tower in Firth. So all along, once we took over the ticket, the whole point was to make it digital and to give you as many ways to consume this content as possible. So the inconvenience, if you're listening in your car and it doesn't work, most people have app access in their cars. For those that don't, our apologies, but your phone does.
93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com on the app.
Yep.
Go get it.
With the app.
Free app.
The app or
Free.
the website.
Yeah, or the website.
Or the website. Or on your phone. Everybody, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter.
We see the comments. We know you're on there.
Like YouTube, you just go to youtube.com and pull up 93.7 The Ticket. We've given every way. And then, oh, by the way, if you're at the crib or you're at the office and you've got Allo
TV,
it's channel 951. Just put it on and it's there to run. And I want to tell you, that Allo cable thing, I hope folks ain't missing what that's about to be. I just want to point out that in short time, imagine the Strickland Basketball Weekly with him and his folks, cable TV style, still run through the 97 Ticket
with
streams.
legit basketball films,
right?
So Strick can point and say, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing.
This is what I'm seeing," and to have Professor Strickland at it and doing that. Imagine the Husker cable shows where Carricker and Amon are looking at film and breaking down football, or Jay and Vershawn, right? Or we take Vershawn and Farley and we go back in time. And we run the games, because there's some of them are available on YouTube, right? To run the games and actually talk about what happened before, what happened during, some of the things that we missed.
What's on the sideline.
We'll go back to Strick. We'll go get some of those cats and talk about the last conference championship that was here and go through that tournament and have y'all break it down, right? Previous matchups that year. Who were the key players that we went against? The whole point behind that is for us to be able to take that and expand how Husker fans get to enjoy.
That's dope.
Right?
A lot of people got to see that Michigan State game, and every time they were telling me, they're like, "Man, I just saw the Michigan State game that you guys won in overtime, and the threes that Tom Wald hit." And yeah, you're right. That's dope.
Imagine how dope that was. To be able for you to get those teammates back, and each teammate has a different story and a different memory from those games. But then to go back in history, also imagine Strick and a scouting report. Like, come this year, sometime in the near future, Strick going up and down the Husker roster and giving a scouting report on what he sees from his eyes, right? Being able to have Jay Foreman look at high school players in the Lincoln and maybe in the Metro, right? And have people talk about, here's this young man or this young woman. And we've got a lot of parents out there. To go through the process and talk to admissions, recruiting coaches, guidance counselors, and to actually break down what their young people need to know. What do the parents need to know? In a lot of cases, it's the parents' first trip through this thing that is recruiting, right? So all of the advantage is to the university because they go through it all the time. These families are just finally going through it the first time or the second time. Because even if the parents went through it, it was different for Andy Markowski than it was for Alexis. But to go through those conversations, and I can tell you, Ramel Lloyd Sr., Rock Lloyd, and Ramel Jr., we're planning a sit-down, a father-son sit-down over the recruiting process, the journey through it, the selection of Nebraska, and then this redshirt year, what it's like, what it's been like. Because the average fan has no idea what a player has to go through
mentally, emotionally.
And to take that and put it in this format, and then to actually have them, this format being on cable where they're having the look, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. Oh, by the way, the new location will be open by the first home game. And I'm looking.
Yes, sir.
They're in it, fired up. I'm fired up about it. If you can't tell. But I'm looking forward. So don't go anywhere for old school because Jay will be late because he was flying into town. Kenny's out today. So Strick's going to stay with me and Austin for the first segment. We got a lot. Herbie Mania. Herbie Mania. This day is all about Herbie Mania. We'll give a shout out to the successful Husker athletic programs that had a fantastic week. 2 Nebraska athletic programs finished in the top 5 in the country. We'll talk about that as well. It'll be a busy day on Old School here on the Ticket. Strick, well done. Austin, well done. Don't go anywhere. Post up.
Hold on. We'll be right back. And tomorrow we'll be back. Look, be on the lookout. Wednesday, we're going to have Samaki Walker join us. We're going to talk more playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And NBA playoffs, as well as, his perspective on how far can the Lakers take it. Him being a former Laker, he'll know a little bit more. Stay tuned on Wednesday. Check back in with us 2 to 4. We're out of here. Peace.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with